This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
Today's video is brought to you by Curiosity Stream. So, the very predictable thing that came out of this draft decision, this leaked draft decision from the Supreme Court, the predictable thing that came out of it was outrage about the leak and not about the decision. Following in the footsteps of Donald Trump, who came before them, they are now, it's the leak, not the contents of the leak that are the problem. There's been launched an investigation, and conservatives across the media sphere have been beside themselves with rage and anger and outrage about it. Pundits on Fox News just won't shut up about it. There needs to be an investigation. We need to get to the bottom of this. Whoever did this, this is the true insurrection. These are the things they're saying. In fact, the day after the draft decision was leaked, my team and myself went down to the Supreme Court. We interviewed some people. And I want to remind you of this moment. This was just hours after this had happened. And this was already the talking points when I talked to this little doofus down in front of the Supreme Court.
But I believe that the sanctity of life should be protected and the Supreme Court shouldn't be politicized. And the fact that this opinion was released without...
The leak is the issue, not the ruling.
I'm okay with the ruling. But the leak that comes out so early, that just shows how politicized this is.
So I want you to remember that moment. I want you to remember all of the things you've heard and seen and read surrounding the leak going into what we're going to talk about today. This is the latest theory from experts who believe it's a conservative who leaked this and what their strategy was behind it. Before I play this clip from This Week on ABC, a word from today's sponsor, Curiosity Stream. Was too much of your time during the pandemic spent in the dregs of the streaming universe? Do you see friends socially now and feel like you no longer know how to hold a conversation? Recalibrate your communication skills with Curiosity Stream. Curiosity Stream is the world's first streaming service expressly intended to address our human need to learn, explore, and understand. Think of it as the Hulu for historians or the Netflix for nerds. Curiosity Stream features tons of documentary and nonfiction titles from some of the world's best filmmakers, plus exclusive originals. Go to curiositystream.com/Dollemore. Sign up with my code right now and get 25% off. That makes Curiosity Stream only $14.99 for the whole year, just over $1 per month. It's good for your head and it's good for your wallet. I have been winding down at night with the mysterious calm of the Sacred Spaces series. But there's so much more, from shows about classic cars to documentaries on deep-sea fossils. Curiosity Stream will capture your imagination. Their content is available on almost any platform and is available worldwide. This means you won't get geo-blocked if you're in a remote part of Myanmar. You can just continue watching that documentary about Myanmar. Boost your brains at curiositystream.com/Dollemore. Using code Dollemore, you'll save 25% off of Curiosity Stream, which again comes out to only $14.99 per year. That's basically $1 a month. I absolutely appreciate your support of my channel, but sign up for Curiosity Stream so you can keep up the good watch. So let's talk about this. Let's play this clip from This Week on ABC with Martha Raddatz, talking to Nina Totenberg, who is a legal affairs analyst. I think that's her title, from NPR. And she has covered the court for years, for decades. She is a veritable expert on the court and the inner workings of the court, the system of their clerks and who they are, what their personalities are. And she, maybe more than anybody else, certainly she's not, her experience isn't outweighed by anybody. She has a theory. She's covered this and talked about this, and the idea that this was a liberal who's trying to thwart the decision, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, she believes that is wrong. She believes it was one of the conservative clerks who are trying to pressure the other justices who may have been getting ready to side with Justice Roberts, going from a 5-4 outlawing, overturning of Roe versus Wade, to a 5-4 upholding, or at least watering down the radical nature of the draft decision. Here's Nina Totenberg. Watch this.
How much has this leak rattled the institution and the way it's viewed?
Well, the way it's viewed, it's an earthquake. And I think within the court itself, it's an earthquake. There has never been a leak like this. There have been minor little springs that have emerged from the court. Reports of a tentative vote or misbehavior by one justice back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. There were leaks, those kinds of leaks, but never an entire draft of a majority opinion. That has never, ever occurred before. And it can only, in all likelihood, have come from a justice. That I think is less likely. Perhaps one of the clerks, and the leading theory is a conservative clerk who was afraid that one of the conservatives might be persuaded by Chief Justice Roberts to join a much more moderate opinion. And then there's another theory that it was an outraged liberal clerk. But I think the only one that makes sense is that it came from somebody who was afraid that this majority might not hold, that Chief Justice Roberts might persuade one of the conservatives to come over to him in a much more moderate opinion.
And Nina, how likely is it that they'll discover who did leak this?
I think it's very unlikely. I mean, the marshal of the court is in charge of protecting the court, and that's another thing you're going to see. The court will look like it is literally hunkered down. All the security walls and all those kinds of things will go into place at least until the end of June or later, and it's going to look like it's under siege. The way, in some ways, this has emotionally put the court under siege, in the same way that the Capitol, across this very street, was put under literal siege.
So I would take her analysis of this for what it is, which is credible, knowledgeable, has a fulsome understanding of the players. The thing that strikes me, though, at the end there, when she's talking about the court being emotionally under siege, there have been massive walls, security, barricades placed around the entire block of the Supreme Court complex. When across the street, the racist MAGA mob, insurrectionist mob, attacked the United States Capitol in a bid to overturn the election and murder the Vice President of the United States, maybe Speaker Pelosi as well. And this is really rich. Yesterday on Fox News, Ted Cruz, pro-insurrectionist, collaborator with the insurrectionists, had the shamelessness to go on Fox News and talk about mob violence, people who are peacefully protesting this decision. He had this to say on Fox News about it.
I got to say this week it was shameful that the White House refused to condemn violent protesters threatening the families of the Supreme Court. It is disgraceful. And Joe Biden used to be chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Joe Biden knows it's disgraceful. He's literally threatening the lives of these justices by the mob they're unleashing. It's the same thing we saw with Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots, where the left embraced them, and now they're embracing mob violence to get their partisan outcome.
Really?
And now they're embracing mob violence to get their outcome. Are we so far removed, little Teddy, from January 6, 2021 that you forget the achieved outcome that was attempted through mob violence at the United States Capitol? The difference here, even if there was violent mob action right now in the wake of the very likely overturning of Roe versus Wade, even if there was, there is not, and there likely will not be. that even if there was, the insurrection involved a group of individuals trying to take away our right to vote. 81 million plus Americans' right to vote. Take away, strip our vote away. While abortion protesters, pro-choice advocates, pro-women's health care availability advocates are protesting to retain a right. They are vastly different things. And Ted Cruz, who also was a clerk on the Supreme Court, albeit a dumb shit, knows that. And it is beyond comedy. It's like an Onion article that you're watching. Someone who showed solidarity with the insurrectionists, the actual mob violence. He's now decrying people all the footage, by the way, that they showed. There's so much violent protesting that they couldn't find any footage of it. They just showed people outside of Brett Kavanaugh's house in Chevy Chase, Maryland, being upset about it. Stupid, hypocritical, gross. What do you think, though? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I appreciate you guys very much. Had a long midweek through weekend wedding in North Carolina. I was in Madison Cawthorn's district. Fantastic. Follow me on social media. I am at Dollemore just about everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Follow me there. And if I bring you value, if I do something for you that you appreciate, please consider supporting my work right here on the platform. There's a few buttons below. You can click the join button, see what's involved to become a channel member to help produce my content. Or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.